Alrighty, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Paid and Passion, where we let our passions work for us. Before we get into this interview, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please share these videos. We want to make sure that we're actually reaching our mission, which is sharing how all these individuals are growing their passions and, you know, creating forms of income for themselves via their passions in order to help other people find their passions and do the same thing likewise. So please subscribe, please share. I'm not even gonna tell you to like it until the end of the video so you can actually like what you do like versus liking it beforehand. Uh, now that it's out the way, we're going to go ahead and introduce our guest today. How you doing, man? Can you go ahead and share your name and what passion is working for you right now?
I go by Chizzy. Um, pretty much do branding and marketing with the Southside story.
Right.
That's basically like a community page. I started in 2019 and continue to go from there. And I also work with like small businesses, throw events, community events,
Mm-hmm.
uh, do a basketball game, Battle of the South, and looking to do Big A Classic in 2026.
Okay, that's big. So could you share what community the Southside Story is, or like what region? I know, well, for those who don't know, we're in Georgia right now creating this video, but what region of Georgia is this community?
Well, I'm gonna start by saying I'm from the south side of Atlanta. So, you know, east side, west side, north side, south side.
Right.
That's a big thing in Atlanta. Um, so, so where I grew up at, it was always a conversation about us not having a platform to showcase all our talent.
Right.
And Atlanta, the city of Atlanta, gets all the shine, So, like they say, always find a problem, and then find a solution to it.
Right.
So the problem was that, and the solution was the Southside Story page.
Right.
So from there, I just, began to, you know, get in tune with a lot of these people in the city,
Right.
on the south side of Atlanta. And,
Let's specify too. So, because even with me growing up, there was a difference between south side of Atlanta, and then you had the south. You got to put some emphasis.
Okay,
Side
so
of Atlanta.
that's a huge topic, a sensitive topic. Um,
Riverdale is not Atlanta.
but my goal is just to unite,
Of course, for sure.
the whole
Yeah.
South.
Yeah.
Regardless of what part of the South you from.
Right. Can we just throw some cities out there so we just so that we know?
No, you got the college parks,
For
the
sure.
Riverdales,
For sure, Riverdale. Okay.
I don't want to leave nobody's side out. They start crying and shit,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So
Jonesboro.
you got the
and,
Jonesboros,
just,
the Cleveland Avs, the south of Atlanta.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The NAC.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Okay. So you saw the problem of, for the most part, I guess, like within media, everything is solely focused on the inner city of Atlanta, although maybe these things are outside of this, quote unquote, if you're going by boundaries and stuff like that, outside the city of Atlanta, or there's people getting credit for it rather,
okay.
or just the spotlight, the outskirts, I guess, not getting as much shine as the inner city. So what kind of made you say, I want to actually create a create a page with your type of, obviously the audience doesn't know you, but me knowing you with your own type of personality, and you're more so like a private person, do things behind closed doors. So what made you say, okay, I want to create a platform and even put yourself out there to meet these different type of individuals, these different businesses, these different artists,
So like you
to
said,
create the spotlight?
yeah, I'm a private person, but I feel like my calling is to help people.
Okay.
So that's kind of like a weird thing. But like I said, I feel like my calling is to help people. So that's what I use my talent to do, to create this platform and, give back to people. So the story about that, I was in the car one day, with my friend Ugo. We just came back from hooping or whatever it is, pre-COVID, right, right before that COVID time. Um, Pretty much we had a conversation about like what we just talked about, like,
Mhm.
And then we had a notebook. He said it was a good idea, so I was like, okay, let's write some things down where we
Right.
can, go forward with, So I feel like that was a big thing about it, writing it down,
Right.
because once you write it down, you come back to it. It comes to fruition.
Mhm.
So that's one thing I always hone in on, like writing stuff down,
Mhm.
not just in like your phone or whatever. That's cool, but like physically writing it down, get like a notebook or something, write it down. But yeah, so built off of that, kept being consistent with it.
Mhm.
You know, learning the marketing and branding side of everything. When it got to a certain point, I was watching a lot of Gary Vee. He's a big marketer, big brander, so he gives a lot of free game out. So I
Mhm.
tell all my people that's on social media, tap in with Gary Vee, Gary Vee, Gary Vee.
You say Gary V.
Gary Vee. That's GARYVEE.
Okay.
So he just puts a lot of free game out there, and it makes a lot of sense if
Right.
you really tap in.
Right.
So
You got like an example of some, what game did you get from him that was a game changer for you?
yeah, it's things that I already do,
Right.
but he just put in perspective.
Okay.
You know, so one thing he always said was like, do things for free.
Okay.
And free is not like, oh, I got to do this for free
Right.
to get on.
Right. Right.
Nah,
Right.
you're not doing it for free because you're giving up. So,
Right.
you know,
Mhm.
so it has to be genuine,
Right. Okay.
So for one example, like these artists, like I said, I want to help these people, like
Right.
different aspects of the
Mhm.
South.
Right.
So I started with the artists, because that's the people I grew up around.
Mhm.
So and from there, I'm just like, hey, I know a lot of people who rap.
Right.
A lot of people who rap know a lot of people who
Right.
rap. So from there, I just started reposting everybody's,
Mhm.
following everybody I knew,
Mhm.
following mutuals,
Mhm.
growing the platform.
Right.
At first, people like,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, once I started reposting these people, they're like, hey, I know him.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a page that's pushing these artists.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm fucking,
Yeah.
I'm messing with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So from there, change it to another way, expand it to like sports, um, and now I'm getting into these small businesses and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's still growing the sports side of things, and
Okay.
so that was the basis of that.
Right. Um. So uh with this being said, is this something that you're trying to how big? What's your goal with this? Like, what's your vision with the Southside story? Because again, for those who listening and probably not really grasping it, basically, how we, in Georgia, in Atlanta, you have ATL Scoop and you have whatever other pages that they have to share a whole bunch of information. This is essentially one of those pages that he created that um, I legit saw from, I want to say like, I might have been like one of the first 10 followers. Like, this really
I
first,
was following people I knew,
no, yeah, yeah. We're like first 10, like,
you know.
I really saw it from what it was in the beginning to what it is now. And I mean, we'll still get into it. But again, like we're talking about businesses and voting and, education. And again, not school wise education, but just again, educating the community on various topics. So it's not just, oh, okay, this is an influencing page, someone who's trying to be an influencer or they're trying to be a rapper or anything like that. He's really encompassing this whole community and basically, I mean, from my eyes, it's like this: the community, West, how big, really trying to put the community on the map, and how much can we do in this community? How can, again, what you're saying, how can I put back into the community, regardless of what anybody does?
So a lot of people always ask me like, what's like the end goal?
Right.
I can never give them an answer,
Yeah.
you know, because I didn't even think I'll be this far,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
Right.
So like when people ask me that, you know, I just tell them like what I have planned ahead, or I just tell them like just keep working, or
Yeah.
you know, I don't straight up I don't know.
No, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I'm just continuing to grow, add on, keep
Mhm.
adding on. I feel like the Battle of the South basketball game
Mhm.
was like a big turning point.
Yeah.
Uh,
Can you share? Can you share with us what that was and kind of how the planning for that came into fruition?
yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
It was a lot. I didn't think it would be that much,
Hmm.
but I was appreciative to all the people
Hmm.
who helped. But the way that started was, you know, like you said, the South, SUSOUTH
Hmm.
and SOUF,
Right.
two sides,
Right.
quote unquote.
Right.
um,
College Park is not Atlanta.
chill. But so I was like, okay, cool. Let's
I didn't say that though. I'm ready to say that now.
yeah. So I said, okay, cool. Like let's, you know, turn this to something
Right.
positive.
Right.
You know, so that's always the goal. You
Hmm.
know, so I said, okay, Plain County, South Fulton.
Right.
That's the South.
Right.
You know, so but it's two different sides of the South.
Right.
You know, so let's see who really run the South.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
so that's what it came about. We got the
Hmm.
best player from South Fulton, best player from Plain County.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of people hit me up, hey, how can I join? How can I do this? You got to have a resume.
Yeah.
You know, so it ain't just no regular hooper
Right.
just
Yeah.
hooping. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so that was a big point.
Hmm.
Um, you know, coming into this. So actually, I found somebody else doing it
Okay.
my age in another state
Okay.
when I was doing some research. Like,
Okay.
Brody didn't have barely any views
Yeah.
or nothing like that,
Yeah.
but he was having big motion in his
Yeah.
city,
Yeah.
you know? So I tapped in with him,
Yeah.
you know. He stayed in, I can't remember the state right now. I want to say like Baltimore or something like
Okay.
DMV area. He got one of
Okay.
those
Yeah.
accents. He just reached out. He was willing to help. Young
Yeah.
black man just like
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
He put me on dumb game,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
Nah, I like that though. I think that's even the one thing that again, even with these videos, like even if someone is uninterested with what we're talking about, I still want them to, pull some type of game, pull some type of information that they can really use. And one thing that you're talking about right now that you can do for work or anything like that is kind of whatever you're working on, whatever you're trying to create, someone has already done something similar. Unless it's if
always,
I mean, you never have to recreate the wheel from scratch.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So just doing your research and finding out, okay, even if it was like a soccer game that somebody was doing, oh, okay, I'm doing basketball, but they're doing soccer, they can
right,
still give you information that is transferable, which is something big with paid and passion, just as far as, okay, how can I use this skill and transfer it into another field? Like again, you said earlier that you have a calling to help people.
right,
And I think a big issue that a lot of, especially like younger kids have, is that they think of one career field in terms of helping people, and they decide from a young age that they want to go down that field because they want to help people, and that kind of steers them. That kind of sets them back later on in life when it just comes down to real pure interest.
right,
So I
and
think just doing your research, being able, having the guts to reach out to this person,
right,
not knowing if the person was going to reach out or not, and thankfully this person was like cool enough, genuine enough, thoughtful
yeah,
enough to be
yeah,
like, okay, let me put, I went through these trials,
all right, exactly,
and let me tell this person
exactly.
what's
So we wouldn't
going
have to go
on.
through the same thing.
Right, right, right.
And I was appreciative because like he was telling me like, yo, my first couple years, like I was in the hole because I didn't know this and that.
Yeah,
You know, I didn't have to go through that.
right.
You know, uh, not to say I didn't go through any problems
Yeah.
because
Of course, of course,
you
of
know,
course.
but yeah, and like you said, like you actually got to be passionate about what you're
Yeah.
doing. Because, like, if you're not, like, you'll do something today and for a week and stop,
Yeah.
Because if I wasn't passionate, like, I wouldn't have found that video. I wouldn't have reached out.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have done the little extra steps that made big,
It's the
big
little
movements.
step. The little
Little
step.
step make big movements.
Yeah.
So it's like the little things are very important. Like,
Right.
but you can't really do the little things unless you really love what you're doing.
Right.
So
How did so with that going, how was like the strategical planning for that?
you know, there's a lot of planning. So it's really, I wrote everything down.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you try to do everything in your head, you'll go crazy.
Yeah.
I'm doing the marketing, branding with it, reaching out to people, trying to get sponsorships, conducting the players. I'm like, I don't know how I did all this,
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, like as far as expenses and stuff, you got to find a court.
Yeah.
Got to get your jerseys made.
Yeah.
Got to reach out to the vendors to come through. Got to reach out. Got to find finding the basketball court is not easy.
Yeah.
Because
fact.
especially for somebody my age and they
Yeah.
hear what I'm saying, they be like, this is not
That
what I want.
like something
Yeah,
negative,
some
or can end
YS, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I'm like, it's not even like that, and I dealt with a lot of that, like from my own kind.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, so this is what this politicking is really about, finding security, police, dealing with the artists to come perform.
Right.
I go on and on, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
So at this point, are you doing this like individual, or do you have like a team, or you got like a committee that when you need to, you can reach out for some assistance? What was that kind of looking like?
Man, I had people, my close bros helping me out, where they could, I know my bro Stevie,
Riverdale,
Ifacho,
yeah.
Long live my brother Boot.
Mm-hmm.
He helped me with everything.
Yeah.
Whatever I needed, pulling up the stuff he wasn't even asking,
Yeah.
But just having a tight knit of people, like
for sure.
My boy Ralu,
Yeah.
So everybody in the community, y'all know who y'all is. I don't gotta name everybody.
Yeah. Raleigh gonna start cheesy.
Can't forget about my boy, man.
For sure.
Yeah. So those people that just helped me out, man.
Yeah.
I'll throw them some here and there, where I can. We all building. We all. They know the end goal is like to make it somewhere. So everything they're doing is not out of vain.
Right. Like even whatever you imagine it, by the time it gets to that, it's gonna supersede that.
Exactly.
Especially once you start. How I feel about it is like, if you do something for 20 years, there's no way it's the same that it was year one versus year 20.
Not possible.
There's just no way. Like, even if, I don't think there's no such thing as like not even putting in an effort for 20 years, but even if you did something small, one small adjustment for 20 years, there's no way year one is the same as year 20.
It's not. Even like with this, like, I'm starting to work with like the county. Like, I'm working with lawyers now. Like, that's not what I was thinking about when I first started this.
Right.
Like,
so yeah, we can go to segue into that as far as how did that come about? Because of course you putting out content now. The lawyer that what's he, a defense lawyer or
one of the biggest lawyers in Clay County.
Yeah, I see. Like, he be doing videos on the page. And
stuff
got
like billboards everywhere.
Right. That's the Clayco.
Yeah, the Clayco billboards.
Everybody take a picture of.
Yeah.
So how did that come up? How did that cross your path?
Yeah. So it's funny. I was telling this story the other day. Like I was telling you earlier in the interview, watching a lot of Gary Vee.
Right. Right.
This is back in 2023.
Okay.
I didn't even know him from anywhere. I just saw him. He posted some content on TikTok. During the interview, they was like, "Oh, you from Clayco?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "This white dude from
Clayco."
Yeah. I'm like, hold on, man, you got to be lying. So I found his Instagram page. Well, first of all, I posted his content on my Soufside story page.
Okay.
And it did fairly good, you know. So I was like, oh, let me find his page.
Like officially post?
Yeah.
Okay, type.
You know, so, and I posted like 2 or 3, you know, because he made good content. So I'm like, okay, cool. So let me see who this dude really is.
Right.
I tapped in. I was like, okay, I really don't know what he, you know, I saw his page. I'm like, okay. And then fast forward, I want to say he saw what I was doing pretty much. You know, I tagged him in some things. So I'm pretty sure he was tapped in with what I was doing. You know, he puts on for Clayco, I put on for the Soufside. So he was like, he tapped in with me, and, you know, we went forward, you know. He liked what I was doing, and then I really seen what he was doing for real.
Right.
I was like, oh, this makes sense, you know. So coming up on the basketball game, he kind of reached out last minute, you know. But late, you know, it's never too late, you know. So
for sure.
He came in and, you know, sponsored the basketball court, paid off the basketball court for me. You know, and it was a blessing, you know. So I really appreciate that for him. He took the players out, 5-star dinner.
Really?
Yep. At Chops.
Okay.
In Atlanta. Y'all can look it up, real good spot. Yeah, it's not sponsored. But yeah.
You from the South Side and you ain't never heard of Danny Nagle and the Nagle Law Firm? Huh? Then it must be too. I know you seen billboards that say Clayco till I die. Who that is? Danny Nagle, Nagle Law Firm, he that guy. Any type of injury, car wreck, on the job, slip and fall. If you hurt, get up with Danny a call. Coming out the South Side, serving the state of Georgia. Just call this number if you need the best lawyer. Hey, slow beat, don't eat. What you waiting on? Somebody ran the light and hit you, man. Pick up your phone. 833 Clayco. Say what? Then you add the one. 833 Clayco. Then you add the one. 833 Clayco.
You know, he does a lot for Clayco. So
no, that's what's up, dog.
Shout out to Danny. You know, so yeah, we're looking to move forward. You know, he's sponsoring the Big A Classic along with Chumo Keke's brother. Okay. He does real estate.
Right. Okay.
You know, he went to Westlake Chumo Keke, so he's tapped in with it. So you know, we made a picture about the Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
And that blew up.
Right.
You know, we got Lou Williams to repost it, Dwight Howard, John Smith. I on 7.9 commented on it. So once we really put this marketing and branding behind it, we're just testing the waters right now. So once we really do what it's supposed to do, it's gonna be a big event.
For sure. Yeah. So what would you say are the key marketing skills to really promote?
Well, you have to know your audience.
Okay.
You must know your audience. If you don't, you'll just be posting just to post.
Right.
You know, that's a big part of it. Also, knowing your niche, knowing what you're good at. You know, don't just go following trends because you'll burn out, and that's not original. Right. You know, do what you like to do.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you don't, you'll just be doing stuff. You'll just be wasting your time. You know. So, marketing is really, it's simple to me. Because it's simple to me because I feel like everything I do is genuine. Yeah. Especially when it comes to the marketing side of things. And I'm a creative and I'm a visualist, so I kind of can see the end of what I want to do. You know, as far as specific goals go. You know, so.
Okay. So do you know if this would lead? So I know right now it's like artists and music, and you're able to tap into, you know, have a lawyer that you're tapped in with. Is there another field or industry that you're currently working on or that you wish to tap into?
Yeah, you know, we mentioned like the music side earlier. At first I was just, you know, reposting these artists.
Right.
You know, and then from there, really the first turning point of the page before the basketball game was
the playlist.
The playlist.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, we was reposting these artists, and then we was like, okay, let's bring these artists together on one playlist. These artists that's really good,
Right.
you know, that's actually working,
Right.
you know, that's actually making good music,
Right.
you know. There's a lot of people that make music, but they don't make good music.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people that make good music that's not consistent.
Right.
You know, so for me doing these playlists, the first playlist I made was like, okay, like I said, I was going to report with these people in the city, in the South. So I was like, I didn't know every artist, you know. But me doing the first playlist, I dropped it. They're like, who the hell are these artists?
Right.
Who are these people? Why are you not on here?
Yeah.
The whole thing blew up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So fast forward, we made another one. You know, we seen the comments.
Right.
We seen the comments and we
Get
added
on
who we
the stack.
missed, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great artists out here. But for me doing the playlist, you can tell who's actually been working consistently and who's not.
Right.
You know. So a lot of people complain that, hey, I'm not making it, hey, this and that. You're not really doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know. And I tell these artists, hey, tap it with me when you drop. Hey, this and that. You know, and then when they drop, I don't, you know, I can only do so much.
Right.
Looking out,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So that's what I say. Just these artists need to keep working, be consistent with what they do.
Yeah.
You know, we dropped a couple playlists,
Okay.
and then from there, I was like, okay, let me start actually working with these artists that's actually working.
Right.
You know, they actually make good music that's
Right.
consistent.
Right.
You know, so we made a couple songs so far.
Okay.
Shot like 2 videos.
Okay.
With Terry Tesla, Lil Shark.
Okay.
Just to name 2 artists, 2 artist videos we shot. So we got a lot coming out in 2026.
That's right.
You know, we got a female singer, Ebony.
Okay.
A neo soul artist, Boom.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
So they all from the South Side.
Right.
You know, so everything I do is like tailored to the South Side, but I have a brand called Southside Worldwide as well.
Right.
So we start from the South and taking it worldwide.
Right.
So a lot of people ask me, like, that's part of my vision, you know. So it's not just the South Side.
Right.
Taking it everywhere, you know. So
that's what's up. Okay. we're gonna take it back. Growing up, what did you envision yourself doing?
growing up, as far as like what, like
I would say like middle school, high school.
okay,
Even if you don't have like a specific job, like where did you see like your direction going?
Yeah.
And why? Like what? So the reason I asked this question is because I never know what age or what stage in life someone is. So what I like to do is kind of find a common ground, especially early ages, to see if that's something that they can connect with.
Right. I mean, since I was a kid, I was, you know, making music.
Yeah.
You know, not like I was just a music fiend.
Yeah.
Anything that had to do with music,
Yeah.
like, you know, I used to dance a lot when I was younger,
Yeah.
like Michael Jackson, and,
Yeah.
like, like Wayne. I was listening to
Yeah.
Wayne, a lot of Wayne, like,
Yeah.
but you know, I was, and then you know, a lot of Afro beats.
Right, of course.
You know, selling. I was burning CDs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, making cover arts for CDs back in 2012.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, like it's not new.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, of
so
course.
it just levels to it.
Mhm.
You know, you always come back to what you love.
Right,
Like,
of course. Definitely.
know,
Most
so-
definitely. Okay. What so is there anything else that, or I guess even at that same time, you know, you can have like hobbies or interests, but still decide to work something else professionally. So what kind of made you decide to go this full out with this versus just having it on the side of a hobby? Like obviously you have to do something to fund this. So,
Right.
you know, you have your other job that you got to use to fund this.
right.
But no one is doing this much for their hobby.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure your mic just failed.
Right. So let me.
No, I think your mic failed.
Oh. Blooper. Okay. You guys me that again? Hold on. All right, man.
So basically, essentially, you have your job now that you're working to fund this. And typically, people, even if you got a hobby, say if you play tennis, you might buy your tennis racket and stuff like that, but you're not going to invest too much money into it. So what was like the distinguishing line versus it being a hobby where you can just have a page and you can just do it for fun versus let me actually use real money, real time to invest in this, and I would assume essentially this is something that you would want to do professionally.
So, like I graduated from University of West Georgia with a business administration degree.
Okay.
I always did stuff the weird way.
Okay.
I really didn't. I wasn't really the best college student.
Okay.
I really didn't. Not to say I didn't care about my academics, but I knew what I wanted to do wasn't this,
Right.
and I knew it was more than this
Right.
because that wasn't my calling to
Right.
do this.
Right.
So I have a hard head, or some people say I'm hard headed.
Okay.
So when I know I want to do something, I'll follow that. Even if outside of telling me no or do something else,
Right.
I'll be like, nah, that's what I want to
Right.
do.
Right.
Because you're not seeing. I'm a visionist, so you're
Right.
not seeing what I'm seeing.
Right.
And sometimes it'll be hard for me to explain like what I'm doing or
Right.
what I want to do.
Yeah.
But I know what I'm doing.
Right.
Everybody won't get what you want to do.
Right.
So I just feel like me following my passion is going to take me to where I want to go.
Right.
And like I said, you want to find your sponsors.
Mhm.
You want to find your team.
Right.
You want to find people that's going to help you.
Right. People like-minded that
Like-minded.
want to see you win.
Exactly. And that's the big thing.
Mhm.
A lot of people are like quick to not believe in what you got going on or be here one day and like
Right.
gone tomorrow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Everybody's here for a season.
Yeah, of course.
So I'll say don't be mad at those people.
Yeah.
But just learn from those people.
Right.
Not to make the same mistake.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Okay. What? Hold on. I just have the question. I just lost it. Do you see yourself? I guess essentially you would. Are you looking to have a set team to do all this with, or what is that looking like?
So building a team is not the easiest thing to do.
Right.
But it's one of the most beneficial things you can do.
Right.
Like you said, funding is important.
Mm-hmm.
People want to get paid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that just comes with the game.
Mm-hmm.
Learning what to do,
Mm-hmm.
learning who and where to get your help from,
Mm-hmm.
learning when to ask for help, and learning like to do things on your own
Right.
a lot of times.
Right.
At the end of the day, this is what you want to do.
Right.
So you can't always expect somebody to be there for you.
Right.
Or somebody to, like I said, be there for you.
Right.
At the end of the day, you got to get up and go.
Right.
Even when it's tough.
Yeah.
So.
What has been like one of the most difficult things that you had to get over during this process? Or like a time where you kind of I don't want to necessarily say second guess.
It's been multiple times. I'm not gonna lie. It's been multiple times. You know, but
What kept you grounded then? What kept you like? Sometimes I would say like with working out and stuff, right?
right,
My excuse would be like, oh, I don't got motivation to keep working out.
right,
But then you can't go off of motivation all the time. Sometimes it's just strictly discipline.
right. Let me tell you this. You can crash out and burn out.
For sure.
And you got to learn to give yourself some breaks.
Mhm.
You know, I always got to remind myself that, like, yo, chill. You know, because I remember back in 2019, I wasn't posting every day. I wasn't doing this and that every day. It was periods of time I wasn't posting for 3 months,
Right.
but I'm still where I'm at today
Right,
with this.
right.
So, and I would say, like, just learn when to take your breaks.
Yeah.
So you won't crash out. And
Right.
when you have those moments, when I had those moments, I was like, okay, I need to relax.
Right.
You know, or when I wasn't feeling as creative, even like right now, like I've been on, you know, selling, you know, my smooth selling right now. Not to say that I'm not working.
Of course.
I'm still planning and
Yeah.
jotting stuff down.
Right.
But you got to give yourself a break to re-up.
Right.
You know, so.
Okay, that's what's up. What has been one of your, like, outside of the basketball game, kind of just seeing the basketball game, you did it twice. Unfortunately, we do have some lost footage, but we were able to capture this last moment of me signing the sacred Book of the South. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Pain and Passion, and don't forget to let your passions work for you.